It is time for 700 days in Pixelmon, and I'm gonna be honest, this is by far the most work I've ever had to put in for one of these 100 days. This is a crazy dex, and I'm about to prove why. The Pokedex I'll be trying to complete this time is the Alola one, and I thought, why not kick it off with something fun? With that in mind, the first Pokemon I decided to go for was Meltan. Now, Meltan can only be obtained from an item called a mystery box. After crafting said mystery box and feeding it netherite scraps, it will then spawn a bunch of Meltan around your base. I'm not gonna lie, after seeing how many of them spawned, I thought that it glitched out and spawned way more than it was actually supposed to. These Meltan, however, can actually turn into Ditto upon catching them, but luckily for me, after spamming like a stack of Ultra Balls, I did end up catching a Meltan. And at this point, since I already have a Meltan, I might as well evolve it into a Melmetal. After feeding my Meltan an absurd amount of iron, it finally started to evolve, and the first Pokemon we've obtained is a mythical, legendary, the first Pokemon of this dex. So after evolving my Meltan, I literally had no game plan afterwards, but after brainstorming some ideas, this is what the past me decided on. I I'm gonna be honest, I wanna go and try and get one of the, like some of I'm definitely about to go to Ultra Space. 100%. As a matter of fact, we're probably gonna be spending the majority of these 100 days in Ultra Space. Okay, so first I'm actually gonna go to the Nether. There's a there's a couple of Pokemon I can find pretty easily in the Nether. So I went to the Nether to find some casual Pokemon such as Salandit or Turtonator, and instead ended up finding a Marshadow. So here's a quick rundown on how that went. Trusty Timer Ball. God, they're so OP. They're so OP. Ah, easy. Easy Marshadow. All because timer balls are overpowered. Love that. So after leaving the Nether without catching any of the Pokemon I went there for in the first place, it was finally time for Ultra Space. Ultra Space gives me access to a lot of the Pokemon I need for this dex, and it has very easy to find Dynamax raids. And if you're lucky like I was, you can even find Ultra Beasts in these Dynamax raids. It was through these raids that I came across my first Ultra Beast being Xurkitree. Unfortunately, this did not end up going very well. What do I lose? What do I lose? If I use Earthquake, man, whatever. I don't care. I should have cared. We lost. Oh no, I trolled. Well, I'm sorry, Togepi. Okay, there's a chance that was my fault, but maybe, perhaps, they shouldn't have brought a fire type. That's just me though. Failed Xurkitree aside, I actually did end up making decent progress in the catching department. I was able to catch 2 Litten and a couple of other Alola Pokemon such as Wimpod and Delmise, and after doing a bit of exploring, I actually ran into another Ultra Beast raid, this one being Pheromosa. Please use Mirror Coat. Let's go. Our counter, let's go. I did not bring any Beast Balls, so. Welp. Yeah, so I went to Ultra Space with the intention of catching Ultra Beasts, without bringing beast balls. Apparently, I wasn't thinking either. Anyways, I finished up my first Ultra Space trip by catching 3 Rowlet. Fortunately, none of these starters are very difficult to find, with Rowlet being the easiest, since it is one of 2 Pokemon that spawn on the Ultra Forest trees at night. So I got home on day 605, and I evolved a couple of my Rowlet into Dartrix and Decidueye respectively. After these evolutions, past me decided on a new game plan. So, my next course of action is I want to get type Null out of the way because I need 2 of them. So I want to go for type Null now, and type Null spawns Jungle Edge at night. Now, it's actually pretty common. Okay. So I need to find a Jungle's Edge so I can go get a type Null. So I flew to my nearest jungle, where I was also able to catch the pre-evolved forms of Vikavolt, being Grubbin and Charjabug. After cleaning up a couple of catches, I decided to chill out for the rest of the day and do some research on some of the future Pokemon I'll have to find. This research, however, led to a pretty game-changing revelation on day 606. It's desert, Poipol's jungle, Nihiligo is the only deep sea. And where does magearna spawn? I have not seen one. Roofed? Wait, what? Oh. So I was gonna go for a Tapu, right? But I don't understand how magearna works. I don't know, does it spawn in wooded or wood mansions? The mansions or something? So I think magearna just spawns in mansions. And I've only ever found one mansion. So magearna spawns in woodland mansions, and the only ever woodland mansion I have found is 30,000 blocks away from my house. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to stay here for a couple of days, see if man-made birch will work, because if it doesn't, then we're going on a 30,000 block trip, which I can't say I'm too keen on. So I spent day 607 placing a bunch of birch planks, trying to falsify a woodland mansion to get magearna to spawn, and all that did was attract a Xerneas. I also did more testing in a separate world about placing your own birch planks for magearna, and apparently this does work. The only problem when I first tried here is that there were no other blocks above the birch that I placed because magearna has to spawn somewhere that has a roof above it. Either way, I decided to just go to the mansion that I found and use the nether as a means of fast travel. I ended up arriving at the mansion during the sunset of day 608, so I took the rest of the night to figure out what I wanted to do next. The decision I came to was not a very smart one. The next morning I decided to go on another Ultra Space trip in a feeble attempt at another Ultra Beast, and all this trip did was bring me misfortune. I found a shiny Semisear that I couldn't even catch because Arceus was my only Pokemon that I had left, and the only attack my Arceus has hits everyone on the field. And since the Semisear wasn't the original Pokemon from the Horde battle, I couldn't even run away and re-encounter it because it would simply just disappear if I left the battle, meaning my only choice was to KO it. On top of that, I didn't even find any Ultra Beast after staying here for 4 days. Needless to say, I left Ultra Space after that. I realized I'm trying to start too much at once, so the first thing I'm going to commit to is finding and catching Magearna. I don't have all my glasses. It's a Magearna. It's a Magearna. It's a Magearna. I didn't have all my glasses. Um, I see it. Okay, I might break down there. Yeah, I'm definitely. Oh, level 50. Okay. Cool. Obviously, we start with a quick ball. I can't see. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wanna throw a beast ball just because I can. But I need those pretty badly, so. Okay, high crit captured. Easy. Alright, cool. Okay, so I think I might have to start my Ultra Space arc now. I don't have a single Ultra Beast. Necrozma's not too bad. Zeraora's not too bad. Cosmog's not too bad. Lunala, Solgaleo I can get from raids if I'm lucky enough. Okay, cool. Type Null is kind of bad. All the Tapus. Actually, no. Okay, so the jungle, all the Tapus and Type Null should not even be that difficult. Because, they literally all spawn in the same biome just at different times. And I don't think it'll be too bad. Alright, alright. I want to go Ultra Space before I go for any of the Tapus. There's way too many Ultra Beasts for me to not have any already. I need to get to a jungle first, though. And there's a jungle this way. And thus, on day 614, my Ultra Space arc officially begins. And you may have heard me say I wanted to start with the Jungle Ultra Beast, and that is because Poipole might actually be the worst spawn rate I have ever seen. We'll get back to Poipole eventually because a couple of other things actually happened pretty fast. I found a Solgaleo raid that I was able to KO pretty easily. Unfortunately, I was not able to catch this Solgaleo, so we'll have to try again later. I was shearing the ground leaves in an ultra jungle biome since Poipole can only spawn on land when I spotted my first Ultra Beast. The first Ultra Beast I actually ended up catching was Nihilego. And I think this Nihilego was the Kickstarter for some of these other Ultra Beasts, because while I was destroying an area in the nearby Ultra Jungle, a Buzzwole spawned in as well. After catching this Buzzwole is when I truly started doing research for Poipole, and I came to the conclusion that this biome sucks. As I said earlier, Poipole only spawns on land. Land in the Ultra Jungle biome is almost completely covered in leaves, meaning Poipole has almost no chance of spawning ever, which led me to building a sky platform, and honestly, things just kept getting worse. A Cosmog ended up spawning on my sky platform, and this is when I learned that Cosmog might be one of the most annoying Pokemon ever. As mid-battle, when I was trying to catch it, it teleported away, never to be seen again. Anyways, an update on the sky platform please, past me. Okay, so the problem with my sky platform is that I definitely built it backwards. So I technically should have, like, it should be bigger by like 5 or 10 on each side. Because what is it? Uh Pokemon, I guess, cannot spawn within 18 blocks of you. And from the middle, I counted 18 blocks out on each side. So I built it backwards, but it's not impossible to like fix. If I extend it by like 5 on each side, there would still be a lot of spawns, I think. So if I see nothing in the Poipole department within like the next 2 days, then I'll go for it. Needless to say, I did not find anything in the Poipole department within those 2 days, so I started a new platform. I didn't want to have to destroy all the surrounding leaves because that would have taken forever, so I instead just built the platform so high that the leaves weren't in spawning range. In hindsight, I could have just done that from the start, but like, I've already proven that I don't think very often. Either way, I did complete my new and improved sky platform about a day later, and here are the results of that. It worked. No. If I fall, it's gonna despawn. Okay, it worked. It worked. This probably was not. Get away. All of you get away from me. No. Stay in the ball. Ugh. I want to cry. Alright. Now I need a second one. Uh, uh, uh. Okay. Well, to be fair, I got that Poipole. Get away from me. I got that Poipole literally the next morning after finishing the new sky platform. Why are you annoying? Oh, what am I? What? Hello? Oh, hello. I didn't even see it. Okay. Oh my god, I can leave. I can leave. Okay, I'm leaving. Who do I go for next? I think I go for Celesteela, because it's the only one that spawns by itself out of the ones that are left, I think. Like, Cortana, Blacephalon spawn in the same place. Guzzlord, Pheromosa spawn in the same place. And Stakataka, Zergatry spawn in the same place. So I'm gonna go for Celesteela now. And I want to do desert and plant last, because those are the most common areas for Necrozma and Solgaleo raids. And I'm pretty sure you can find Lunala ones in Ultra Forests. So if I do get lucky enough, there is a chance that I could leave Ultra Space with all of the Ultra Beast plus the full box legendary line. So I went on over to my Ultra Crater biome, where I just started catching some of the local Pokemon. I haven't really focused too much on catching normal Pokemon, and that's mainly just because of how many special Pokemon there are to catch in this dex. There's all the Ultra Beast, a legendary Pokemon that not only evolves, but evolves twice and has a split evolution path, an artificial legendary that also somehow evolves, and more. As you can see, I have a lot of other stuff to prioritize right now. That being said, I did end up finding a shiny Hoot, so that was kinda cool. But after I started getting serious about finding Celesteela, I went to do some testing on the spawns of these Ultra Beasts and realized that they are completely unfair. I have some results for some of the tests I've been doing in another world. So on this sky platform, actually, so let me show you the normal spawn rate of Poipole. Poipole just on land in general, just like generally on land, running through an ultra jungle, is low. It's the rarest Pokemon that spawns here. 0.002, which is very not great, especially for a challenge like this. So, if I go to a spawn platform, and all the way up here, no trees or leaves close enough for anything to spawn, it's 0.09. That's a very big jump from that to that. And then, if I throw a poison lure into the mix, it goes up to 0.19, which is another big jump. But I also found that if it is at the beginning of sunset, with all these other things combined, like spawn platform with the poison lure, 0.59 is the highest I've gotten Poipole spawn rate to. So Poipole actually went from being the most difficult Ultra Beast to find to one of the most common. Obviously it's still gonna take a bit because it's less than a 1% chance, but like what started from 0.002 has now gotten all the way up to 0.59, basically 0.6. So Poipole is actually one of the easier Ultra Beasts to find now. That's the one I've tested the most because I need 2 of them. So Poipole is the one that I've put the most effort into. The one that I'm currently struggling with now is Celesteela, because it appears that there's not very much you can do for Celesteela. It's just always gonna be like super duper impossible. Celesteela is kind of just not fun all around. So Celesteela is basically this rare, like no matter what you do. I really like looking for Ultra Beasts at the start of sunset because of how little Pokemon spawn during that specific time. So if I check spawns now, Celesteela's at 0.05 because barely anything spawns at this time anyway. But it is by far still the rarest Pokemon that spawns here. And it doesn't even get much better with a flying lure. It goes up to about 0.1, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know. Celesteela I might just be out of luck with. So on day 626, I made a pit stop at home to craft some lures for the rest of the Ultra Beasts that I needed, and when I got back, I just had a feeling this Ultra Space trip would be very eventful, and past me can tell you all about that. Celesteela is by far the worst one to find. By far. Okay, wait. Why do we have a Weavile and an Eevee, man? Oh, that's so whack. That's so whack. 4 shields is doable, but we have a Weavile and an Eevee. Oh, unless it just focuses me. Okay, well, it dies if it hits me again. Okay. 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 Let's go. Oh my god, that saves me so much time. That saves me so much time. That saves me so much time. After catching this Pheromosa, I went back to my Ultra Crater biome. I didn't really have anything to do there besides sit there and wait for a Celesteela, but the luck just kept rolling in. Hello there, Celesteela. Hey, stop it. I'm not here for you. Well, I was just about to, like, destroy a mountain out of boredom and frustration. But now I don't have to. Oh, I crit captured it. Nice. Okay. That could have been a lot worse, actually. So. While running around Ultra Space, I did end up evolving a couple of my Pokemon. Most notably, I evolved one of my Poipole. Naganadel is my favorite Ultra Beast, so I was really happy to obtain one of these pretty early. After heading over to an Ultra Forest biome with my Fire Lure ready, I wanted to test something that I tried in a separate world, and the results ended up being kinda hilarious. I want to try something. Hold up. It worked. It worked. It worked. Come here, Blacephalon. So, for some reason, whenever I logged into any world with a type lure, the first Pokemon that spawned would almost always be a Pokemon of that type. In my test world, 95% of the time it was a Vulpix, but the thing about that is, Vulpix doesn't spawn at night, so the first Pokemon that ended up spawning was Blacephalon. I'm not sure how consistent this is because I didn't try it again, but this made things a lot easier. 2 days after catching my Blacephalon, I also ended up finding a Kartana, which meant I was done with the Ultra Forest. Xurkitree. Guzzlord, Xurkitree, Stakataka. Is that it? Guzzlord, wait, Xurkitree, Guzzlord, Stakataka. Okay, yeah. Cool. Need to get back to Ultra Plant. So, after making it back to my Ultra Plant biome, I think the luckiest thing of these Alola days happened. Cosmog. I see it. Oh! No way. What the... Okay, well, I'm obviously gonna go for the legendary first, because why wouldn't I? Well, I hope that Xurkitree stays. Let's go. Okay. Cosmog captured. Is the Xurkitree still there? It is. Dude, what? Well, you hurt me more than... Wait, no. I hurt you more than you hurt me. I critical captured it. Sheesh. Continuing on with my Ultra Space adventure, I did end up finding a Necrozma raid, and I'm not gonna lie, past me was going through quite the emotions while fighting this Necrozma. No, are you... Oh, it died, okay. I think Ultra Ball is my best bet. Let's go! Let's go! God, I deserve this. I deserve this. I've been in Ultra Space for 30 days almost. I lied. I've been in here for like 25, but... And you would think that my luck would end with this Necrozma, but think again, because it didn't. Is that a shiny Boldor? It is! Oh! Okay, wait, is that a boss? Is that a boss Boldor? Okay, it's a boss Boldor. That's a Guzzlord. So, after catching this Guzzlord, I went home really quick to drop some stuff off because my inventory was getting pretty full. I immediately went back though to try and capitalize on this luck streak while I could. However, I think I may have ruined it by going back home because bad luck smited me as soon as I got back. Please use a fire move. Let's go. Okay. Moment of truth. No. Yeah, so it's unfortunate that I didn't catch the Solgaleo, but it was made up for by this Cosmog spawning not too long after. So everything should be fine as long as I catch this Cosmog. Oh, I don't have any quick balls, so... You know what's crazy is that I have Ghastly for this exact situation. It's gone, isn't it? It's gone? I'm annoyed because that's literally what I have Ghastly for. God, that's so whack. But even after these back-to-back fails, there still was a silver lining. Oh, it was a stack attack. Okay. Well, I guess that kind of makes up for... What's it called? Fight me. Is this my last Ultra Beast? I critical captured it. I literally trolls because that is quite truly what I have Ghastly for. So it wouldn't be able to teleport away. And then I just forgot. I think that was my last Ultra Beast though. It was. Cool. I'm actually kind of bummed out about that Cosmog, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna leave Ultra Space though. I'll come back for more Cosmogs. That kind of just like... I'm kind of bummed out about that actually. What I want to do now is just go catch some normal Pokemon. And catch normal Pokemon I did. I perhaps should not have started catching normal Pokemon while I was tilted, because I spent 3 days not talking and just catching Pokemon. So many Pokemon, in fact, that I almost caught the entire Dex in these 3 days. I basically just zoned out and threw Ultra Balls at everything I saw, in the overworld at least. I caught some water Pokemon that I needed, such as Bruxish and Wishy Washy. I found and caught some rare Pokemon such as Drampa, And I also caught some Pokemon that I at least can't evolve yet, such as Crabrawler. On day 638, I went back to the jungle because I really needed to get a type Null, but before that, I actually found a shiny Zigzagoon, which was pretty cool, because for some reason I didn't know that shiny Zigzagoon was orange. Anyways, that night while wishing for a type Null, I ended up finding a Tapu Lele instead, which isn't terrible because I also don't have any of the Tapus at this point. I ended up catching Lele the following morning, but I did stick around that jungle for another day for some catches and evolutions, but considering there was still a decent amount of time before the next legendary spawn, I decided to head home and chill out for the rest of the night. I came back to the jungle on the night of 641 with the hopes of a type Null finally spawning, which I can say that luckily one did. I'm pretty sure Zarude can also spawn around this time, so it's a good thing that one didn't. Either way, I'll let past me give the play-by-play on this type Null. Anything? Oh, there's a Null. Oh, there it is. I was upstairs getting food. So yeah, on the night of 641, a type Null spawned that I was able to catch with relative ease. Surely, the next type Null I need will be just as easy to catch, right? Anyways, for the next couple of days, I traveled to biomes I hadn't been to in a while to clean up a couple of more catches. I actually found my first Poplio, which I put in the daycare machine as soon as I got home. I also found a Comfey, which is a one-off Pokemon that was surprisingly evasive. And after all of that catching and evolving, it has been almost 3 days without a legendary sighting, so I decided to make my way back to the jungle in hopes of finding a second type Null. On my way back though, I actually ended up finding a Galarian Moltres raid, and my teammates got destroyed and trolled the win for me. There was something exciting that happened when I got back to the jungle biome however, so I'll let you guys see what that was. Is that a shiny Joltik? I think it is. Are you shiny? Well. So, after finding this shiny Joltik, the worst day of this dex occurred. On the night of 644, another type Null spawned, and I'll pass the honors to the past me to explain all that happened. I was not paying attention again. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was my own type Null for a second. And I was also looking at Rocket League on my phone. Alright, I caught it with a timer ball at this point last time. Does history repeat itself? It does not. You know what? How about a wacky little beast ball? Feeling wacky. Okay. Alright. Tough crowd. Or I didn't even shake. How did I catch the other one so easily? Bro, it's not even shaking. That was like 4 in a row that I didn't even shake. Is it time to bring back Master Balls? It is turn 76. It's almost nighttime again, by the way. Are we making it to turn 100?
I'm getting annoyed. I'm getting so annoyed. This is crazy. It's almost turned 90. I'm honestly just impressed that this type null has not stayed in the ball. It's level 15, paralyzed, low health. I don't even care. I'm not happy about this. I don't care, actually. On day 646, I decided to go back to Ultra Space and get the rest of the Cosmog line. As soon as I get 2 more Cosmog and 1 Solgaleo, I will be entirely done with Ultra Space. After a full day of wandering and finding nothing, a Solgaleo raid spawned on day 647. This raid was easily defeated, and finally, after 4 attempts, I was able to catch a Solgaleo from a raid. And to follow up the Solgaleo, a Cosmog spawned on day 648 that I thought I lost again due to teleport, but I actually found it again at the bottom of a cave. I was able to mean look the Cosmog so it wouldn't TP away, and I was able to catch it as well. Meaning all I need now to be done with the box legendaries is 1 more Cosmog. And it was at this point that I realized this dex was almost all but a secured win, so I spent a couple of days preparing stuff for future challenges, now that I'm pretty confident with this one. Something that I needed for a future challenge was a huge amount of silver, which was taking a very long time to find, as it had taken me about 4 days just to find almost 3 stacks, so I gave up on it for now. Something else that I needed for a future challenge was a very surprising amount of a certain item. Okay. So this will all make sense eventually, but I need 17 stacks of Pokeballs, so I'll just start with 10 for now. This will all make sense eventually. At this point, the literal only thing I still need from Ultra Space is 1 more Cosmog, so I just decided to commit to it now, and on day 655, the last Cosmog that I needed actually spawned, and I was able to catch it with minimal difficulty. I was also visited by another Celesteela, and after all the complaining I did about it, I might as well catch a second one. Something else I needed for a future project was a bunch of different blocks from every biome in Ultra Space, so I went around to all of the different biomes with TNT, because mining half of the stuff in Ultra Space will give you some sort of negative effect. I collected a bunch of stuff, such as prismarine shards from the Ultra Plant, and iron blocks and concrete from the Ultra Crater. After getting all these items, I decided to head home. So on day 658, I realized there was a Pokemon in this dex that was pretty easy to fail, and that Pokemon was Zeraora, which shares a spawn time and a spawn biome with Victini. So here's how that hunt went. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. Oh no. Oh, you have a Rocky helmet too? Ah. And I did catch a second Victini for a future project, but finally on day 664, I was able to find and catch a Zeraora. I actually don't know much about Zeraora because I haven't seen the movie. Either way, it's still a very cool looking Pokemon. So the reason I keep doing stuff for the sake of future projects is because I genuinely do want people to start guessing what they think some of these projects might be. With that being said, I made another quick little trip to Ultra Space to try and get a couple more Necrozma and Solgaleo. There were varying levels of success, but I did end up catching a second Necrozma. I also did fail my first Solgaleo raid, and I fully blame the Magikarp that died 3 times. I left Ultra Space again on day 667 to clean up a couple of more catches that I still needed. Day 668 started out with the spawn of a Raikou, which I KO'd, and then while I was at home brainstorming, this happened. I want to go for a Tapu because I want to go for a Tapu. They're the last 3 legendaries I have. They all spawn during the day. Is that a shiny Barboach? Please tell me that's a shiny Barboach in my house. It is. Can I attack you through the glass? Or do I have to get in there with you? I'll get in there with you, man. Let me in there. What the... That's so goofy. Why is there a shiny Barboach in my house? After that Barboach, on day 670, I made my way back to the jungle to try and get another Tapu. During the morning of 671, I was visited by none other than Tapu Koko, which I caught by literally throwing 3 Ultra Balls at it. Anyways, with less and less stuff to do, I decided to finally go look for an Icy Rock to evolve my Crabrawler. While on this adventure though, I made an enemy with a nearby wildlife and ended up getting chased by a Weedle. This normally would not have been that big of a problem if I didn't accidentally destroy a Zygarde cell while running for my life. Unfortunate. Anyways, during my adventure, I finally found the pseudo-legendary of this generation, Jangmo-O. I caught a couple of them before finally finding an Icy Rock and evolving my Crabrawler. And since I had no other reason to be out here, I teleported home. I did end up back in Ultra Space on day 676 because I did skip blocks from a couple of the biomes. Also, while I was here, I found an Ashen Hydreigon, which was really cool and I didn't have it yet, so I caught it. One of my Jangmo actually evolved off of me catching this Hydreigon, so now I have a Hakamo-O as well. I ended up with another Cosmog on day 677, which wasn't a problem to catch, so now I also have an extra Cosmog. I went back home on day 678 because I finally realized I never caught a Turtonator from the Nether. But, as I was going through my portal, I ended up getting hit with a Genjutsu by a Patrat that trapped me in perpetual battle because it attacked me as soon as I went through the portal. What a fun time. The next day after escaping the Patrat, I finally found and caught a Turtonator, and at this point I'm only missing 4 Pokemon from this dex, so for the next couple of days I decided to go clean up some Pokemon I was missing living dex wise. I surprisingly enough needed another Yungoos, because up until this point I had apparently only caught 1, which I do remember evolving into a Gumshoos a very long time ago. After getting some living dex catches done, I was making my way back to the jungle when I actually found a Shaman raid. I was able to defeat it, but unfortunately, I was not able to catch it. Bulu ended up spawning on the day of 683, and it took a full night and some change to even catch it. After catching Bulu and heading home, I kinda noticed that I never really financially recovered after buying all of those Pokeballs, so I decided to fast travel through the Nether to go find some stuff to sell. I found another Nether Mega Village, and some very wacky biomes that I had never seen before. The purple eyeball lamp things might actually be one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in this dimension. Anyways, on the other side of the portal, I did end up finding some relic items and even 2 title bells. I continued finding more stuff to sell before finally teleporting home on day 690. you good? Hey, shiny Bellsprout. Please don't be a boss. Oh, it's just a normal... Cool. Okay. Easy crit. Nice. So, as you can see, on day 691, I came back to the jungle where I found a shiny Bellsprout. But more importantly, on day 692, I found my last Tapu, that one being Tapu Fini. I was able to catch Fini that same night, and just like that, I have caught all of the legendaries in this dex. So the last Pokemon that I need is Kommo-o, but I still have a decent amount of time left, so I decided to try and have some fun with something. Here's what that plan was. So, I actually want to try something really quick. I want to try going to Ultra Space and using the Meltan box to see if I could get a shiny one. I don't know if the Meltan box is affected by Ultra Space shiny odds, but we're gonna attempt. So with one final trip to Ultra Space, I mined out one of the obsidian pillars in the Ultra Plant biome to make room for my Meltan box. But before I activated the Meltan box, I actually ended up finding another Stakataka, which I caught with relative ease. Anyways, after catching the Stakataka, I went and activated the Meltan box, and I'll just let you see how that went. Oh no, they all spawned up there. Wait. Okay. I simply did not clear enough space. So my plan immediately backfired, and I also didn't get a shiny Meltan. But I was able to catch a second one for the living dex. And finally, with the evolution of this Hakama-o, I finally have a Kommo-o, which was the last Pokemon I needed for the Alola Pokedex. And with that, this challenge has also been completed. I feel like this dex ended up not being as bad as I thought it would be. Don't get me wrong, this was by far the most difficult dex so far, but I think it was a little easier for me because of how fast-paced I took everything. I also think it was better that I committed to one task at a time, which made things a lot easier on myself as well. Like, imagine if I just left Ultra Space after every single Ultra Beast and started different tasks in between them. Had I have done that, I probably would have lost this dex multiple times over by now, so I feel like I was a lot more coordinated this time, which helped out in the long run. Either way, thank you for tuning in to 700 Days in PIXELMON. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. I'm closing in on 1K, which would be very cool to reach. Anyways, like I said, thanks for tuning in, and I hope everyone comes back for 800 Days in PIXELMON.